Hi, everybody. So you've been working hard this year, learning first to use HTML, then to use CSS, and then we have been covering how to take that experience you learned last semester in HTML and CSS and apply it towards creating websites using Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is really intended to help you make sites more quickly and make sites that are more dynamic, that look better and are more responsive with less effort on your part in a sense, or actually allowing you to put your effort more into making better sites rather than the lower level stuff that you would have had to do last semester if you were creating a site from scratch with HTML and CSS. So Bootstrap is giving you all of this stuff to work with, and now you had to kind of decide on a great template and then figure out how to create the site you want using that template. In fact, first you had to think about the site you wanted to create, and then you had to take that information and figure out which template was the best one to use to those ends. So now you've hopefully been working on actually integrating your site into the template that you've decided to use in Bootstrap. And you are likely now starting to discover some of the challenges of doing so. So this week's assignment is to communicate with me the difficulties that you are having. I want you to start really troubleshooting what you're working on. You know, if you've started to try and create this site using Bootstrap and you're hung up on something, I want you to identify those hangups so that we can start to work together to figure out how to get your site done. We want you to end up with a really professional and great looking website. So you need to reach out to me now and talk to me about what's difficult about creating this site with Bootstrap. You're going to discover that it might be difficult for you to communicate the difficulties you're having. You might need to send me screenshots of error codes. You might need to send me screenshots of the actual site and how it's displaying when you actually look at the HTML in your browser. It's likely you'll need to send me, well, this week you're already going to be sending me your rough draft of the website. But I might be able to open up your rough draft and I might think it looks fine. And you might need to communicate to me, well, actually, I wanted it to be more this way. Also, you know, if the template that you're working on is just not working out for you and you need help selecting a different template, let me know. I want to know about this process of creating this site from Bootstrap and where you are in the process. So this week, I want you to, you know, send me emails to talk about this stuff, but also just submit to me an update via Google Documents about where you are in this process. Describe to me how it's going. You know, send me a letter telling me about the process. I've been trying to, you know, have you submit the template that you're working on and information about the site that you're making. A lot of you, when you did your research assignment about the site, didn't send very detailed descriptions of the site. And when you make sites, it's very important for you to be like, I'm going to have this information on the pages. Specifically, this is the text that's going to be on the site. Specifically, these are the images that I'm going to use. That's important because then with a template, what you end up doing is just copying and pasting the text that you've already written out. So that's what you want to do. You want the content already decided on before you actually dive into the CSS and HTML. You want that written out somewhere else so that you can just copy and paste that information into the template, and then you can start tweaking the actual CSS or the HTML to make things display that you want it to. You don't want to be actually typing the content into the template. You want that all decided beforehand. So if you haven't done that, I think that you want to take a step back and really type out the specific content that you want and really select the images that you want to use and then integrate those into your Bootstrap template. So you're continuing to work on this final project of this semester and ultimately of Web Design 1 and 2. And I want to know where you're at in that process, and I want to be able to help you accomplish the goal of creating a site that for most of you should be a site that's going to be used in the real world. Okay, so I want you to use this course now as a resource to create this actual functional tool. And then ultimately, I'd like to help you find a server that you're going to put the site up on and help you get a domain name if you don't already have one, so that we can actually make this a functional website that's going to do the job that you intend for it to do. So this week, write that Google document and upload it to this assignment, explaining to me. It's basically a letter telling me where you're at and what you need help with, and start emailing me back and forth if you're running into challenges. I want you working on this site regularly. I'm going to stop posting, assignments that are more busy work type assignments, not busy work, but I want you focused on this project, but I want you putting time into it, because making a great website takes time, and you're going to be evaluated on creating a great website, okay? We're really getting into a big project that is the culmination of the work you've done in web design so far this year. So you really need to communicate with me so that I can help you create the best possible work. So I'm looking forward to seeing your letters this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the rough drafts and ultimately the final drafts of the websites that you're making. Thanks, everybody, and keep up the good work.